Hey, good morning. This is Bobby Modern, Director of Horticulture at Sarah P. Duke Gardens. And I'm standing this morning in the middle of the H lot, which is a large parking lot beside Duke's hospital system, also adjacent to the garden. A couple years ago, we created this thing called a Piedmont Prairie, and it's a collection of native plants that we collected ourselves from local locations and created a prairie in the garden. After we created this prairie, we thought it'd be an amazing idea if we could somehow use this concept in other locations and commercial sites around campus, such as the location I'm standing in right now, which is the middle of a parking lot, the middle of a median strip parking lot, which you can see is just nothing but grass and has to be maintained and mowed many times throughout the summertime. And we thought, well, how can we create habitat in a place that's as harsh and difficult as this, and could it happen? So therefore we got some of the plants that we thought would work well. We grew them out, and we created this thing we're calling now a pocket prairie, and I'll show you right here. This is a year after we planted this, and you can see the variety of plant material that are thriving in this extremely harsh location with all of the reflected heat. We haven't watered it at all, very dry, and yet the plants are thriving and they're attracting insects. And so we've actually created a wonderful habitat garden in the middle of this difficult, extreme environment of this parking lot. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Annabelle Rennick. She's the curator of the Bloomquist Garden, and she's going to tell you more about the plant material that we've used in this pocket prairie.
So hello, and I'm Annabelle Rennick, and I'm the curator of the Native Plant Garden here at Sarah P. Duke Gardens. And as Bobby said, we've just created this last year, this pocket prairie here at H lot at the hospital. And I have to say, we have been excited and amazed by the results of this experiment. So it's an experiment. We have tried it for the first year. We're trying out a variety of different plants. So the choice of plants we have chosen is based on a few criteria which are not the same as choosing plants for your backyard, for example. We have to think of cost. We have to think of availability in quantities. We have to think about height. Many people get intimidated by tall plants, especially in commercial areas like this. So our height is around about 20 to 30 inches maximum. And we also have to think about sun and drought, because this has got to function totally on its own. We are not irrigating, and we are not feeding. What is important is for wildflowers or wild plants, or like these native plants, is to have a very sort of a soil that is very low in fertility. And this type of soil that you get in these type of places tend to be very low fertility, and that is perfect for what we want for growing these plants. So effectively we have a core of 8 plants, 2 that will flower in the spring, 2 that will flower in midsummer, 2 in late summer, and then we have a couple of grasses that will take us through the winter. And then in addition, we've sprinkled in a few other plants like the Asclepias, for example, just to see how they perform. So I will now pass you over to Megan Luckett, who is the horticulturalist here at the garden, and she will talk to you about how we actually created this.
Hello, I'm Megan Luckett. As Annabelle said, I'm the horticulturist at the Bloomquist Garden of Native Plants. So this section of pocket prairie is about 90 feet by about 12 feet, though we did only plant up the middle 10 feet or so that we could have some space if cars happen to back up into it. So some of the plants that we have that are fairly common that you might see so we've got some Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan right there. The really pretty orange one is milkweed, and actually we do have a monarch caterpillar on some of the plants over there, which is really super cool. Also goldenrod. So just we also have some echinacea and some mountain mint. So pretty cool native plants here. So in the preparation of this, we removed all of the grass, and then we used an auger to dig holes at about a foot apart from one another, so we could just sort of plunk all of these little seedlings in. and just watered once at the time of installation. We put in some mulch, and that was really pretty much it. And we actually put this in 1 year ago, roughly, and so it was much hotter than it is today. But yeah, it was pretty cool that we have such growth and such vigor despite the fact that there's low fertility, low water, and we put it in the hot blazes of summertime. So we actually do have a second phase in the works that we're planning right now for this adjacent lot where Bobby was standing initially, and we're going to do a bit more in terms of design planning with some of these same plants. So this is kind of phase 1 of the Pocket Prairie, but we're going to take it on to phase 2 starting next month. So stay tuned, and we hope to show you a bit more about Pocket Prairie at Duke Gardens. Thank you so much.